despite another 24 hours, we still know precisely zero more about 4 objects shot down in U.S. airspace in 8 days. Last night, we asked what the balloon is going on, which actually isn't much different from the initial thoughts of an F-16 pilot flying over Lake Huron, Michigan on Sunday. Here is the pilot when he first approached that octagonal object in the sky.
Definitely looks like something, there's some kind of object that's suspended. I'm going to call it a balloon. You can definitely see strings hanging down below, but I don't see anything below it.
The F-16 pilot's as confused as we all are. The White House says it has not come to a conclusion on where the objects came from. Here's John Kirby, the Strategic Communications Coordinator for the National Security Council.
We haven't seen any indication or anything that points specifically to the idea that these 3 objects were part of the PRC's spy balloon program.
Today, U.S. senators received a classified briefing on the matter, which is a lot more than we all have gotten, including North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer, who's with us now, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee in D.C. Senator, it's good to see you. Big picture, a lot of people are scared. After this briefing, do you feel better or worse?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I don't feel a lot better informed, Leland, but I don't feel badly. In other words, I'm not afraid. But that's because I have been talked to. And I think one of the challenges that we're experiencing across the country is when you don't tell people facts, when you withhold information, even if it's not very much information, you allow their imaginations to sort of run wild. Right now, people are afraid. I think that the President of the United States, or maybe the director, National Director of Intelligence, or somebody should go in front of the American public and tell them everything everything that they can about these incidents. From the briefing that I sat through today and the one that we sat through last week, there isn't a lot to say. There's certainly nothing scary to say. Because they just don't know a lot, particularly about these 3 that were shot down over the
Due respect,
weekend.
sir, if we don't know, isn't that scary in and of itself?
Perhaps, except that part of why we don't know about the 3 from this weekend is that they were very small. They really had very little payload at all because they weren't big enough to. Nothing about them carries a weapon systems or presents any imminent threat of any type. The threat that they posed was to civil, air traffic.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that. If we don't know what was on them, I guess I don't know how we say with such certainty that they don't pose a threat. But either way, I want to bring you back to your home state of North Dakota, which was where the Chinese were building a few grain elevators next to one of our most secretive and important strategic nuclear bases. That program went along for a while. The Chinese were permitted to build these grain elevators that could have very easily housed all sorts of electronic surveillance equipment, possibly even weapons, whatever else they would have had, just 12 miles from this base. Certainly the Chinese wouldn't have let us do that at one of their bases with an American company. We can all agree on that. That said, the balloon comes over.
We couldn't have even bought the land.
Yeah, right. They don't have a problem buying land. The balloon comes over. And all of a sudden, the residents of North Dakota come together. They shut this down. I know you had a big part in shutting down the Chinese program as well. Could this sort of, we look back on this, almost be like a Sputnik moment in the way Sputnik woke us up to the Soviet threat? This wakes us up to the Chinese threat?
So, boy, that is my greatest hope, Leland, and I'm certain of it. In fact, I think the experience in Grand Forks with the way the community rose up and pushed back against their local leadership, the way, some of us at the federal level were able to work with our national defense and intelligence agencies, and, to put a stop to this, and ultimately the decision coming down from the city commission to stop this Fufang project. That, as painful as that year was for the citizens of Grand Forks, it was a gift to the country. The same, I think, can be said of the large spy balloon. I mean, you're talking about a 200-foot balloon and, a huge payload, sensors and cameras, all of these things. I think that experience that we went through, and while we can pass judgment on the judgment to not shoot the balloon down sooner. I think it did alert a lot of people to the reality of the threat of China. I think a lot of people were sort of denying that for a long time. They had stuck their head in the sand, but now it's very, very real.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.